Perception is the fundamental instrument of manifestation. If the being does not perceive the created environment, it cannot access the other mechanisms of understanding. Upon entering the first quadrant of manifestation, the being must find the mechanism that leads it to the lower quadrant. This first quadrant is mental and contains all the tools necessary for the being to cross it. Mythology helps the being in understanding and in learning how to use each tool. Misunderstanding or misuse prevents the being from advancing in its sole intent and path. Any and every deviation can be used to refine the being. Absorbing the environment causes the being to embody it and transform into it. Passion permeates the being, which tends to perpetuate itself in the environment. "I'm still here" seems to suggest that the being is winning the battle against life, when in fact, the opposite is happening. That is, the being remains stagnant in the endless circle of time, losing the guide to its purpose. The being that loses its purpose loses itself. The concepts of reincarnation, samsara, or eternal return, stand in contrast to the ideas of a single life or eternal life. One only reaches the second quadrant by passing through the first. Not understanding that the same perception that places the being in the environment can also remove it, makes the being a resident and user of a time equally incomprehensible. Living and coexisting sustain all models of adaptation of the being, allowing it to justify what it begins to conceptualize as creation. The being lost in creation consumes what nourishes it. While consuming, the power over itself diminishes, as does its natural vision. When something decreases on one side, it is filled on the other, in order to maintain the balance of understanding of what emerges as new and seems never to have existed. The insanity of the being in manifestation reaches its limit when it fights and pleads to perpetuate itself in what it has understood as life. To achieve this, the being resorts to partial science. Detachment is Buddhism's great contribution to its influence on other groups. Every transformation, unfortunately, aims at the perpetuation of the being or the species. It is at this point that the role of alchemy, of true transformation and passage, is lost.